Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lanice Leads. Welcome back. I just wanted today to inspire everyone that is looking for employment. I know that a lot of people will be reconnecting and serving back in the work field and in the work area. I know that with COVID going on and just a lot of different shifts going on in the workplace, some people have been working from home, some people have taken a sabbatical altogether, or just different shifts completely. And just wanted to encourage you. And so I'm going to do a replay of a panel that I was on, thanks to United Way and all the different partners that were involved. I think that this was very inspirational, and also we all provided some very good resources and information, so that I hope this inspires you and helps you move forward. So welcome to Lanice Leads.
Welcome everybody to my channel with Lanice Lead, endless possibilities. It's motivation for your situation, positivity with simplicity. Be inspired, this girl right here on fire. Welcome everybody to Lanice Leads. Welcome everybody to Lanice Leads.
I can say that I feel a lot better and a lot more relaxed since you've shared those. So thank you. I want to take a moment here. I'd like to introduce a wonderful group of women that will join me in a panel discussion tonight. Carissa Greedeback, our corporate volunteer and engagement manager with United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. Carissa also sits on our planning committee for the women's seminar. So thank you for being with us, Carissa. We also have Dessa Johnson, our diversity and inclusion leader with Manpower Group. Lanice McGee, she's our job district director of job service with the Waukesha County Workforce Development Center. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today. Truly appreciate it. Carissa?
Good evening, everyone. As Nafisa shared, my name is Carissa Greedebeck. I'm the manager of corporate volunteerism for United Way. And I just feel so privileged to be in the company of so many amazing women. We all have a story to tell, we all have lives and responsibilities. And I'm so proud of you for taking the time out to learn, to grow, and to do something for you tonight. I've been with United Way almost 10 years, been in the nonprofit world my entire career, and I've been so fortunate to really be part of this planning team since I began at United Way 10 years ago. This event is typically a true labor of love, and every year we see so many women who are looking to improve their lives, boost their confidence, and they come through this event and come out the other end just ready to take control and ready to take the next step. And so I hope that this different way of accomplishing those same goals works well this evening. But again, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to have a meaningful conversation. And I will go ahead and turn it over to my friend Dessa.
Thank you so much, Carissa. So I too am so honored to be here and want to welcome you all. Before I introduce myself, though, I like Nafisa, grew up in a military family where my father and both my grandfathers served. And so I just want to take a moment, not only to honor them and our other veterans, but for those of you that may be showing up tonight that have served or are our military spouse or two are part of a military family. So just want to say thank you for your service and your bravery and your dedication. I also want to give a special shout out to those of you that may be joining us tonight from Sojourner Family Peace Center. I have both a personal and a professional connection to Sojourner, and it's my honor to be able to serve on the board there and support the mission of transforming lives impacted by domestic violence. So thank you to those of you joining us as well. My name is Dessa Johnson, and I work for Manpower Group. I work in our diversity, equity, and inclusion space, and I've been with our organization for about 10 years. I'm deeply connected to the core of the work that we do, which is connecting people to meaningful work every day so they can have a sense of purpose, and to be able to provide for their families. On a personal note, I'm a working mother of 3 young children, and like many of you, I'm navigating through these unprecedented times as well that we find ourselves in. And I know 2020 has been a year for many of us. So again, thank you so much for showing up tonight, sharing your evening with us, and for practicing self-love and self-care by investing in yourself. And I'll turn it over now to Lanice.
Let's see. Okay, I think you can hear me now. Hey, hello everyone. I am so happy that you have joined us here for the Fireside Chat. So that means it's going to be hot, right? Some hot information, that is. So I'm so excited to be able to share with you guys information I have, and also I'm excited to learn as well and get the information from whatever you guys are posting in the chat. If you're ready for us to start, let's hear some, yeah, we ready or something. You know, I like to feel like the engagement going on here. Okay, I don't want to feel alone, right? But I am Lanice McGee. I am the district director for the Department of Workforce Development and the Bureau of Job Service. So I'm excited to share with you guys some resources and things that we have to help keep you connected. And our ultimate goal, I think, tonight is that everybody does what is necessary to take the step forwards that you need in life, right? Whether that's through connecting through resources, whether that's through connecting right here on this platform to other people, whatever it is, we definitely want to do that. So thank you so much, and I'm excited to get this going.
Lanice, we just love your energy. You definitely bring the fire to the fireside chat. So thank you so much. Ladies, let's go ahead and jump into this chat that we've talked about. Lanice, we'll start with you. Throughout the pandemic, many people have lost their jobs, unfortunately, and had to adapt to new working and living environments. Talk with us a little bit. Have you experienced this? And if so, how have you adapted? And if you haven't, what advice or resources would you like to give to women that are navigating these challenges?
Okay, thank you. I think that's a great question, especially with everything going on now. The first thing I would say is to have grace with yourself and grace with other people, because we all are in this together. This was a paradigm shift that nobody asked for, right? So we all had to shift. So I say, like, let's change our perspective from this sucks to I'm ready to shift, right? And so there are some things realistically that just are not beautiful. There are some things that are very challenging. And how do we take those challenges and look at them as opportunities? And so that's kind of what I want to share with you a little bit about that. So within our department, our mission hasn't changed, but how we show up has. And so you can take that for your personal life too. Your mission or what you want to do is who you are. It's the core of your mission, right? If you don't know what your personal mission is, take some time out to find that. But how you show up in that way may have to change. You may have to adjust so that you're able to still meet your needs and things of that nature. So in our department, there has been a lot of changes, and they happen rapidly. Like one moment we're going on this way, and then something else happens, and we have to adjust according to the needs of our customers and our clients. So I oversee a job center in 3 districts in the WOW area. We go, wow, see the WW, and my head is, oh, you know, a little fun. Wow. Okay, so we hope that we wow you tonight, okay, with some information here. But we normally see people in person, right? Our services are for people to come in and get services like right there. If you need to look for a job, we have those resources for you. And with COVID happening, everything changed. So how can we still meet the needs of people? And so we had to adjust, and we're constantly adjusting as well to that. And so something that we did, we had to, with the Department of Workforce Development, as you know, the unemployment rate, it went up very high. So our number one need was to, how can we make sure that people get the resources that they need financially? So we shift a lot of our staff that would work helping people apply for a job, to training them on UI so that we could process everybody as quickly as possible. But at the same time, how do we still offer the services? And so we're still working through that, right? We have not arrived. We are
Yes.
still on that bicycle, right?
Yes.
And I'm learning how to ride. I fall off sometimes, but I get up and I dust myself off. And so that's what I encourage you to do as well. So we offer different services remotely for people. What I have done, I've created, I don't know if you can see
Yes,
this
we
resource
can.
list. And so if you have not registered, you need to register, because that's the only way you're going to get this list, okay? Because I don't know how I would get it to everybody. But I want to share this before I share just, I'm going to share just a few resources, and I'm going to move on, because this is 6 pages full of resources. I want to first put a disclaimer. This is not created by the Department of Workforce Development. It's created by Lanice McGee, okay? And the reason why is because I put all different type of resources on there, not just employment related. So I just want to send a little word of encouragement before I just share a few. We have to understand that with the change and the shift, there's a lot of things that people have lost. They have lost their jobs. They have lost family members. They have lost their peace. They have lost their understanding of what life looks like now. It's a lot of loss. So I think that the first thing we have to do whether you have lost your job, whether your job has changed, whether now you're at home with all the kids, is understand that this is a grief. It is a grief, and there are stages to grief. So understand, where are you at in that grief stage? Are you in shock still? Are you angry? Are you depressed? Where are you at? That way, when you know where you're at in your grief moment, you can address it. Okay, I've been really depressed. What do I need? What resources do I need so that I can move on to the next stage of, okay, moving upward? Maybe today is your moving upward. Sometimes we can't move, all we can do is listen. And then in the listening, that can change us and make us and give us the energy to go forth. So really understand where you're at in the grief. And then the last thing I want to share really quick is I hosted an event for mothers who had lost their children. And at the last minute, they asked me to host, because the person who was supposed to host didn't show up. I was just supposed to help. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? I don't know. I hadn't experienced that. But something this lady shared, and I'll never forget it as long as I live, because it was so powerful. She said, and she was a mother who had lost her child recently and got up and talked. And she said, you have to understand the difference between grief and mourning. She said, grief looks in and it's a weight. It shuts others out and it loves isolation. Grief loves isolation. But mourning reaches out. It seeks to strengthen with the same strength that it uses to encourage oneself. Mourning seeks the purpose behind the loss, while grief only focuses on the loss. So I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, and I can get emotional. Some of you are experiencing grief, and I'm just encouraging you, try to move to mourning. Try to see the purpose behind whatever it is that you lost, okay? And we understand, and I never want to diminish anything that somebody is going through, but how can we move from grief to mourning? What is the purpose, and what am I going to get out of this? So some resources, again, I'm not going to go through all of them. There's so many. I have information on there is on Job Center of Wisconsin, there is 77,000 jobs posted. So there is opportunities out there, okay? It may not be what you used to do, but there is opportunities out there. I have links for shelters. Somebody talked about that. Now we have to be realistic. The domestic violence could be going up, things of that nature. If I know this is live on Facebook as well. If you're not from Wisconsin, I did put 2 sites on here that is for anybody. 211. Make sure that you call 211 for any kind of resources that you need. And this one I love, people may not know about, it's called findhelp.org. Findhelp.org. I'm telling you, anything that you need, you're going to be able to find it there, whether it's food security, housing security. Make sure that you check that out. Again, the list I have on-demand jobs list is on here, all kinds of things that crisis hotline, respite care. Okay, this is the last thing, respite care. Some people don't understand how important that is. If you're taking care of an older person, or you got kids, okay, and you might need some respite. What does that mean? I need a break. emergency respite care. I got the information on there for you guys. So make sure, even this is a prize in itself. If you don't win no other prize, this is a prize right here. So if you catch the replay, still fill that link out so that you can get this, because that's the best way that we can make sure everybody gets it. So thank you. I know I went a little long, but I
You
enjoy
are
talking to you
okay.
guys.
Lanice, you are okay. I see in the chat that the women are really enjoying your energy. Your words are so powerful. I also see that some of our co hosts have placed in the chat some of your information that you've stated as far as 211 and all the other resources that you've mentioned. We'll also be sure to add this to our resource page, which we'll talk about towards the end. Lanice, I have to go back a little bit because you did give me goosebumps just talking about grief versus mourning and being able to move to that mourning piece of it. And I think that we've all experienced, as our world has been shifted in these past 8 months, we have all experienced grief, but it's how we get back up. And that's what I love what you said the most. It's how we handle things, how we get back up. And it's these type of events that are going to support us. So thank you so much for your words of encouragement. This next question that I have is for Dessa Johnson. For many, this has been a time to rethink the future. Have you ever reimagined or reinvented your career path? If so, what does it mean to you to reinvent yourself? What are your challenges and your successes? And what specific challenges might the pandemic present?
Thank you, Nafisa. And before I answer that, I too have to give a shout out to Lanice. Thank you so much for sharing your spirit. I think we're all energized, right? And we're talking about grief and calling that out because it's something that I have a personal belief about that we don't talk about often enough. And it's okay to not be okay. But thank you for that. So Nafisa, 2020, wow, right? It's been a great reset for us and a very heavy season for a lot of us. Whether it's the cultural unrest, the health and economic crisis, we've had so many emotions. Some that Lanice has already touched on, from the grief to the pain, and hopefully some of us have found some hope in the moments. I think for a lot of us, I can say for myself, if I think about back to March of 2020, it seemed like it was starting more as a sprint, but it's really become a marathon. And I don't know about you, but my running shoes are showing some wear and tear right about now. So hopefully we're all in good company. So a dramatic workforce transformation is taking place. It's happening in front of our eyes. And a lot of us are finding ourselves in the season of having to reimagine and reinvent ourselves and our careers, and just how we do life. And so for me, when I think about reinventing I think we have that opportunity today. We're always in motion. And as I grow older and wiser, a journey, right? For some of us, that's hard. I think for me, I've always, wanted to listen and seek to understand others and help give advice. But then, you think about your own road to self exploration and discovery. That's not always as easy, and so sometimes necessary to discover your true self and your purpose. And I think one of the greatest strengths is to know who you really are at your core and your true purpose, and be unapologetically you. I have a few tips and keys to successes that I've had in my life that I'd love to share with you all. So I think for one, and hopefully you're all taking notes, it starts with determining your strengths and your interests, right? Many of us show up at work or we show up at home and we can wear a mask and hide behind who we really are. And we find ourselves wanting to adapt to someone else's expectation of who we are, instead of being okay with the unique gifts and skills and talents and abilities that we bring to the table. And those gifts really allow us to walk in our divine purpose. So I know I've done that. I think, if we're honest, a lot of us have. So me, it's been a process. I'm a woman of faith. And so for me, that can be prayer, that can be deep reflection. It could be leaning on our villages, right? Our family, our friends, whatever that looks like for you. I know, also leveraging different career or personality assessments can help. At Manpower Group, we have an assessment called the Learnability Quotient, which really measures your desire and ability to grow and adapt, very similarly to the season we find ourselves in, where we're challenged and where we have unexpected circumstances that are occurring. Number 2, devise a plan. It's important to make sure, though, that your plan is realistic and that it's practical. I think you also need, as part of your reflection and discovery process, to assess, where am I at emotionally? Where am I at physically and financially before you proceed? The third tip is, and where, again, I've found success is seeking out mentors. They don't always just come to you naturally, but sometimes you have to seek them out on your own and build your personal board of directors. I know one of my mentors at one point in my career stressed the importance to this of this early on in my career, and it's so key to having that sounding board to help advise you and to provide you with feedback, right? It can be anything from life decisions and opportunities and, again, challenges that come your way. And lastly, I would say accepting failure as part of the process. And like Lenise said earlier, giving yourself grace. That is so, so important. I can't stress that enough. It's not easy, but at times, even with ourselves, we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what's most important is that we take from those failures or those learnings and the experiences, and we're able to move forward.
Awesome. Dessa, thank you so much for sharing those golden nuggets that you've shared. There's so much that resonated with me as I think about some of the things that you've talked about. I just want to say, one, be unapologetically you. That is so important. And I want us to reflect on that because that is something that we can't be anyone else but ourselves. And it's interesting. I'll share a quote later today before we close out on being ourselves. You talked about three things to consider, divine purpose, devise a plan, and creating your own board of directors. It is so important to surround yourself around others that can offer opportunities and things that maybe you can't, and seeing how you can explore and tap into those individuals so that they can support you. So, Dessa, thank you so much for sharing those things. We truly appreciate your knowledge, your expertise, and your experience. And you are absolutely right. My shoes are wearing out because we have all been on go, go, go. And I don't think that any of us have slowed down. So we just keep going. This next question, I'd like to pull in Carissa. This is for, can relate to so many of us, but Carissa, how are you maintaining mental, physical, and emotional wellness? It is so important in these times that we're in right now. How have you focused on your wellness and mental health in a time of added stress? And could you provide some examples of coping methods that maybe you've used?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think this is such a relevant and personal question, and something that we can all benefit from. But I want to give a shout out first to both Lenise and Dessa. I am humbled to follow each of you because I think what you shared and what you touched on was so poignant and so important. And we are just, speaking such truth and, being in this safe space, this safe community of women to say, what we're embarking on, what we've faced, what we've lost, how we want to move forward. It's just so powerful to be here with all of you. As the other ladies have shared, this has been such a foreign, unprecedented, very unsettling time for all of us, really, regardless of your personal circumstances, your work environment, your home environment. The best way that I describe it is that women wear so many hats and we juggle so many roles. And, this current climate, the last 8 months for many of us has really been this convergence of all of those roles. And suddenly, what we were able to maybe compartmentalize a little bit, here's my work life and my work persona, and I'm passionate about what I do. And here's my home and caring for my family and taking care of my babies and my aging parents. And you could kind of break things up and manage them independently of one another. And now, you find them all happening all at the same time. And we have to be all the things all the time at the drop of a hat. And we're switching, in between them within a few moments' breath. And that is hard and exhausting and daunting. I'm a full time working professional. I'm very passionate about my job. Philanthropy is like a 24/7 all the time because you're working to make the community better. You're responding to urgent needs. So there is a real responsibility I take there. And I'm also the mom to two daughters who are ages 4 and 1. And my 1-year-old has some very complex medical needs and special challenges. And that, in and of itself, is another role and another weight that I, carry day to day. And so, we feel like we're never really 100% at any of those roles. And for like a type A like me, that can be really discouraging. So I'm going to just share with you a few things that have really been working for me. I'm a work in progress. Some days are better than others, but I always look at it like we can get back up and try again tomorrow. This is, as Dessa said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we just keep going. But a few things that I want to share with you, and we did this a little bit with Sarah at the very beginning of the session, but I've really been finding some peace and motivation in just taking 2 to 3 minutes when I wake up to really just do some deep breaths. You can call it a meditation. Really, my aim is just to be still. I'm being in that single moment. Perhaps I'm thinking about something positive that I want to see happen that day or setting an intention for that day. Some days it's, okay, I'm going to get these 3 work projects done. Other days it's, I'm going to have more patience with my children. Whatever it is, you're setting an intention. You're taking those 2 to 3 minutes. You can lay in the bed still while you do it. You can do it in the shower, but it's just about being still and kind of grounding yourself. And that has really set my day up um, for success. The second, movement. I think we just forget how energizing, motivating, and just plain happy we can be if we get a little bit of movement in. And I know that gets harder as it gets cooler outside. But I look at it like walk up and down your stairs 5 times while playing your favorite song and singing at the top of your lungs when you need to take a break. Dance in the kitchen with your kids or whoever is there. You can walk outside to get the mail from the mailbox and then just do a quick little loop around your block while getting back to look at your mail. So it can be easy to build those in. I feel like for me, it's easy because I'm chasing around that 4-year-old and 1-year-old. So again, just a little movement, I think, goes a long way. It's a real energy booster and a motivator in and of itself. This has been touched on too. I think this time has really given us an opportunity to self-reflect and perhaps just think about relationships and the people in your life and which relationships are really meaningful and which are supporting you and encouraging you. Right now we need cheerleaders in our corner. We don't need the people that aren't as supportive or aren't serving you. And I think it's okay to say, I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to cultivate, people around me who I want to be around, who build me up and I build them up. I think now is an opportunity for you to really hone in on that circle of support, both professionally and personally. And I think a silver lining that maybe has come out of this too is that we're all becoming a little bit more vulnerable with each other. And I don't always think that is a bad thing. I think it can be very therapeutic and cathartic for you to find a safe space with people and share how it really is. And you invite them to do the same. I mean, talk about really deep, powerful relationships that can serve you personally, professionally, as you grow and change and seek out what you want in life. I think that is so important and something that we're doing now that maybe we didn't feel comfortable to do previously. It's already been touched on giving yourself grace. I'm not going to go into it, but please do it if you're not. And then lastly, this is something my family does, and we've always just done it for fun. But now I realize the more that I do it for myself personally, it just kind of helps you look back on your day and end on a positive note. So my husband and I have always done what was your favorite part of the day and not the worst part, but your least favorite part. We do that when we go on trips or vacations or like day to day. And we've started asking our girls this too. And what I love is you're thinking about what the favorite part was. So you're celebrating that small win or that small victory or that good moment, even if the day was really hard. There was that one good favorite part. And then least favorite, I'm finding that you're able to at least ask yourself, why was that my least favorite? Was it the way I handled a situation and I wish I would have done it differently? Something I had on my to do list that I just kept putting off and I shouldn't do that? Or was it something that was 100% out of your control? And if it was, it's time to let it go because there's a new day tomorrow. So, my favorite part today is being here with all of you. And I don't even know if I have a least favorite, but I think that's just a nice practice we can do too to celebrate the positive and to let go or to learn from the least favorite.
I love that. Thank you so much, Carissa. I mean, the knowledge that you and Dessa and that Lanice shared tonight, I mean, I couldn't say anything more. Just wow. Take a deep breath and take it all in. You shared, there are so many things that we're trying to be, and it's because we are the backbone to so many individuals. You also shared that, similar to Dessa, this is a marathon and it's not a sprint. I love that the ladies in the chat are giving all kinds of advice. They said, cry, let it out, listen to music, enjoy and be authentically you. That's all you can do, and unapologetically you. That's all you can be. I know we're going to move on here. We're going to take a momentary break, give you a minute to take this all in because there's so much information that you are getting tonight, and it feels so rewarding. And when we return, we're going to hear from a graphic recorder, illustrator, and art educator, Cheryl Knitzel. So I look forward to seeing you momentarily. We'll break for approximately 3 minutes.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was very inspirational for you if you are currently looking for employment. What I will do is link the video, the entire video, because it is amazing. It starts off with some very relaxing um, things that you can do just to kind of relax yourself, get focused. And I'm telling you, the whole presentation is amazing. So I want to make sure that I share that link and I will share that information. And then also, if you want to make sure that you connect to United Way so that you can get those additional resources that was shared in the video. And so as you are moving forward and pushing forward, remember that you are great and greatness is in you. And I can't wait to see everything that you do. Have a great evening.